Oh hey, I didn't see you there. It's me, Colin the Big Yoshi, back at it again. Today we're doing a tier list of the Cuphead bosses. I think it's going to be pretty fun, and I thought it was a good time to do it after beating all the Cuphead bosses, S-tiering all of them recently, and I don't know, I just thought it was going to be fun, you know? I don't need a good reason. Is that good enough for you? Do I need a good reason, or can I just do what I want? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Alright. I don't know who that was aimed at. Also, stick around to the end of the video. I have a couple of video ideas that I want to share with you guys, and that I'm probably gonna do, and some that I am considering doing, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna do them yet. So, without further ado, let's start. Alright, so I got this tier list from tiermaker.com, classic, everyone uses it, and it has all of the main game bosses and all of the DLC bosses, which is good because I wanted to talk about how I feel about the main game bosses. I don't even know if I have a favorite because all of the bosses in this game are just so good. So I guess we're going to decide what my favorite is through this. So we're going to start off with Baroness von Bonbon, who, in all honesty, is a very lame fight. Great aesthetic, one of the best looking backgrounds in the game. And all of the mini-bosses are very well animated, but being well animated is kind of the bare minimum for this game because this game looks phenomenal in all cases. So I'm not going to let that get it too much higher. But the Baroness herself doesn't really appear in the fight that much, which is kind of a big issue. I wish we would have cut out one of the mini-boss phases because, like, she has a cool design. I like her, like, candy gun and stuff. I like the candy castle. So why don't we just, like, fight her for more of it instead of fighting these generic enemies that are randomized and none of them are challenging, except for, like, the candy corn occasionally, and occasionally the waffle. Just have mini bosses that are more well designed, and like have it be 2 phases instead of 3, and I feel like that would fix it, and then give her another phase by herself. So we're just gonna go C tier for her. Music is a bop, but once again, it's not really a huge compliment because every single music track in this game is great. And next we're gonna go Cagney Carnation. Honestly, a really solid boss. Like, people really do hype him up as one of like the best things humanity's ever created. And while I don't agree with that, it is a very good boss. Possibly one of the best early game bosses, just because it really does teach you how to do everything. It teaches you how to like duck. You really have to duck out of the way of the enemies. You have to kind of dash out of the way sometimes. If you're on one of the platforms at the end, that's a wrong platform. You have to drop down, which can be useful. You have to shoot upwards. Like, it does teach you a lot of things for early in the game, and I feel like it's one of the first challenging fights. Remy and Croaks is definitely harder and probably a better boss, but the aesthetics on him are fun. I think he has a lot of charm in his animations, a lot of personality, and the music is great. So I'm gonna go high B tier. He's a little simple, but a lot of fun. And next we're gonna go Beppy the Clown, possibly my favorite music track in the game. Definitely like top 5. The amusement park theme is really well fleshed out. The roller coaster adds like an interesting dynamic to the fight. The donkey phase sucks, honestly. The donkey phase is just not fun, which is why I always just use my super on it immediately so I can just get out of the way as soon as possible. The final phase with the penguins, they do put up a challenge, but I don't think it's really in a fun way. Unless you're playing as Chalice, which in all honesty could just make all of the bosses 1,000 times easier. And I don't know, all of the little attacks he does are really creative, like the balloon animals and the penguins, and of course the donkey as well, I guess, but I don't like him. So we're just gonna go I'm gonna go probably high A tier. Probably, I'll go middle. I think he's a little lesser than Cagney in just how he teaches you stuff. Like, Cagney is just great because of how he teaches you stuff. Beppy, some of his attacks are just a little annoying and not really that fun to avoid. Next up is Calamaria, who is the fan favorite boss. I wonder why that is. No, in all honesty, she's a fun fight with a few glaring issues. I think some of the attacks are pretty obnoxious together, not very fun to avoid, like the pufferfish and the swordsman. Can be really annoying together. The seahorse is kind of a useless attack, like it doesn't really screw you up that badly. And the rest of the attacks are pretty solid. For the most part, the turtle attack and the electric attack can be annoying together, but like if you're good, which I'm not, you can avoid it pretty easily. And the petrifying thing I don't think is a huge problem in the third phase, but in the second phase I find it to be a little cheap because you barely have any time to destroy the eels before she like just throws the beam in your face. So I think it can just be a little unfair sometimes. I don't find the third phase hard at all. People really do find it difficult. I find it stressful, but difficult, not really, because all you have to do is just go in front of the screen. Like, as soon as you see a wall or something, get out of the way of it. Like, you go in front of it so it doesn't hit you, and just try to avoid the skulls. Like, it's really not as bad as people say. That way when you're petrified, you're not too close to the screen, you can break out just in time. I don't know why I'm giving tips, that's not what this video is for. Anyways, I'm gonna give her a B as well. I'm giving a lot of B's right now. I'd say she's more fun than these two, even though I don't really like the airplane. I don't really like airplane bosses that much in general. Esther Winchester, very annoying. I don't know if that came through in my video at all, but that recording was like 40 minutes long, and that was not a fun time. Better than Saltbaker. Oof. We'll get to him and her. Briny Beard. Him and Calamaria have like one of the best episodes of the Cuphead show. And that we're not taking that into account, obviously, but he has a lot of charm in his animations as well. You can kinda I really like the different sea creatures designs, like the squid is cool, the shark is cool, I like how you can kinda hit it backwards. The dogfish attack is pretty annoying, but like it's pretty easy to avoid too. And the barrel is easily the worst part. That barrel just screws over so many runs, and he was one of my harder ones to S rank until I realized playing as Chalice is just 1,000 times easier. But yeah, I think the fight as it goes on, after he's gone and it just takes over as the ship, the fight's a little lamer because it's like not that difficult. Except for the barrel. The barrel can screw itself. But if you're playing as Chalice, you just invisibility dash through it while you're underneath the laser. It's not that bad. So I'm gonna go A. Low A, but A. Oh no. Need I remind you of how long this fight took me? It was like a 3-hour epic in order to beat this guy, and not in a good way. This fight is painful and it borders on unfair, in my opinion. So anyway, I don't want to go S. He's unfair at times. Like, it can honestly be very, very annoying. I think it... Alright, it's not unfair. I think it's just borderline BS. The fact that, like, you could just get overwhelmed with attacks. You get used to it eventually. I got used to it. Doesn't mean I had more fun. I'm going high A. He's well designed. The animations are actually incredible. But that doesn't, like, I don't know, it's just too frustrating. I think they went a step too far with how difficult it was. And I'm a scrub, I know that, but it's so hard. I mean, come on, guys, you gotta agree with me on this one, please. I'm begging you here. I do like the fact that they're like the attacks of food, and you can see them telegraphed in the background. That is cool. I will say the background can be a little distracting at times because you just want to look there. It's so pretty, but you can't. Anyways, the devil. I think the devil is a more fun fight than Saltbaker. His animations are still incredible. I think like all the different phases are challenging, but they're not like BS. I think the hardest one is probably the first, and maybe a tie with the third phase, because the devil minions do get to be a lot, and if you get unlucky with the RNG on the attacks and the fire wheel in the beginning, you're done basically. So at least there's a chance to parry at every single one, so it's okay, I guess. Really well designed. I'm gonna go S. One of my favorite ones to actually like fight. And then we get to Jimmy the Great. He is not great. He's good. I love his animations. He looks really cool. And then it gives me nostalgia. The background gives me nostalgia to something, but I don't know what it is, which is just a plus. So I want to go very high B. Like I said, airplane bosses are not my favorite, but he's a very fun fight. I like the different phases. I like how long the fight is with all the different phases. I like how there's a secret phase, which is just cool. If a boss has a secret phase, that kind of just brings stuff for me. But overall, I think he just looks really cool, and there's enough fun and variety in the attacks that it never gets boring. Oh, yippee! Next is Dr. Cow's robot. I wanted to call him Chef Robot for some reason. He is low A. No, mid B. Mid B. I think he's no. Here. He's gonna be there. Because the first phase, great. Love the strategy, trying to figure everything out, how chaotic it is. Second phase is fine. And then third phase is just kind of garbage. It's like they ran out of ideas on what to do, so it's like, let's just make him do the same attack for 5 hours. You know, and it's just really annoying, and it blends into the background, which is always frustrating. The laugh starts to get grating. He actually didn't take me that long to S rank, surprisingly enough. He took me like less than 20 tries. A lot of them ended pretty quickly, so like it's not like that bad. But yeah, he overall was not the worst, but I don't know. I just don't have a great time when replaying him. I always dread playing him because that final phase is just really frustrating. Now here's an example of a plain boss that I really enjoy. It's really tense, it's fun. Except the final phase. I think the final phase can be a little better because you can barely tell when the sausage strings, what are they called? I don't remember. When they like go up and down, it's kind of hard to tell where the hole in them is going to be and where you have to go to avoid getting hit. So I think that can be a little annoying. Yeah, pretty fun fight. I love the animations are really great. The music is really great, and she has a lot of personality in her attacks. And the attacks themselves are pretty okay. There's a pretty clear flow of like of what's going to happen and how you should avoid them. Like, I think it's cool that they have the vacuum attack, which is pretty simple, and then afterwards they shoot it out and like you have to avoid all the falling stuff, and then they explode, which just makes sense. So like you pretty much understand what to do. The first phase and the second phase, they work great for me. I think the flying cows and the vultures can be a little much. They're a little annoying, but once you get used to them, then the pattern you have to go for, it's not awful. And going for the parries in this fight is pretty fun. So I'm gonna go A. Probably Here seems good. Really fun fight. I think just the 4th phase could use a little bit of an upgrade in my opinion. Glumstone, the Giant. This was actually the first fight that I tried in the DLC when I tried it on the Switch, and I just got really frustrated because I almost kept winning, and it'd been like a year and a half or something since I had played Cuphead, so I was really rusty, and eventually when I got it on the PC, well, I eventually beat Glumstone, but then I got it on the PC, and it was much easier. The recording for the S tier was only like 20 minutes, which was great. It has really good music. The phases are all really cool, really unique, except the sock puppet one is kind of just okay. You can kind of just dodge through the ball as Chalice or Cuphead if you have the smoke dash, and it's like fine, but it kind of just renders the whole thing pointless as long as you don't dash into a gnome, which I think the gnomes, there could be a more obvious visual cue, I think, when they're going to come out of the floor, but it's kind of a small nitpick. I think it's a very fun fight. I'm going to go A, and he's going to be above Briny Beard, below Esther. All the DLC fights are going to be pretty high. They're all very well designed. I mean, every fight in the game is very well designed. It's just the DLC ones are just so good, you know? Grim, Matchstick, the bane of everyone's existence. I actually love Grim. Like, he's one of my favorites. He's not actually that challenging anymore for me because I've done him enough times. 3rd phase can be a little annoying, but you know, once you get used to it, not the worst. You just gotta pick the right gun that won't immediately shoot the pellets, and you're golden. Great animations and a lot of charm in the character design, and I love like the fire attack with like his tongue all rolled out. Like, that just looks cool. He's a great fight. I'm gonna go A. I think I'm gonna go top of A for him. He's a very good fight. And I do like the platforming aspects because it can be a little annoying sometimes where the clouds spawn, but I think it's unique. It adds like a cool flavor to the fight. But parrying in this fight is really satisfying to get right. Hildeberg, the woman that we got for 2 seconds in the Cuphead show. Same with Grim, but still. Fun fight. I think it's probably one of the better plane bosses. I'm not really saying much. I don't really love the plane bosses, but if I had to pick a favorite plane boss, it'd probably be Esther, but then she's pretty close too. I do really enjoy her. I think the constellation attacks are really cool, and while I don't think the archer or the twins are really that fun, I think that the moon phase is really fun, having to bait the UFOs, and I think the mini UFOs do, or the mini blimps do give you some like unique variety, and they do kind of keep you on your toes because you can't just like avoid one attack. You have to avoid multiple sometimes. And on S tier you get those shotgun ones that can be annoying to dodge. But overall, I think I'm gonna go bottom of A. Very fun, clever design, and good music too. King Dice, really cool boss. I think I want to go A tier for him just because he's a really solid idea. And the mini bosses are nothing phenomenal or anything. I think half of them are fun, half of them are not very fun. Like the monkey, just really stupid to fight. I just don't like fighting him at all. Versus the first couple, which I think have a good balance of like not being that hard and just being kind of fun, you know? For King Dice, I'm gonna go A. Probably here. Here seems good. Love King Dice, he's cool. Moonshine Mob, that's one of my favorite fights in the game, and so this is gonna be a little bit biased. I love the animation on the background. When I saw the anteater in the background, I was like, okay. The DLC really stepped up its game with the with the animations. I think the Anteater phase is definitely the weakest phase, but it's not bad at all. It's just really, it can be a little annoying with the like balls of smoke fighting, I guess. I don't know what you would call them. But yeah, I think the first phase is the peak because it does have some good chaos. All of the character designs are really great. The music is really great. It's just really unique compared to every other boss, I think, in terms of like how it works, because you need the platforms, and you don't really get that. Like, you have to drop down between platforms, and I feel like you don't really get that with a lot of Cuphead bosses. And it does add something interesting to this fight. It's kind of like the tutorial boss to get you back into Cuphead after not playing it for a while. I'm gonna go, just so there's no bias, I suppose, still S. Still S. Don't at me. Don't at me. No more explaining it. I just love that boss. Oh, and the secret knockout's great. And no, I did not fall for it because I had already seen a video. So Mortimer Freeze. Annoying. Very annoying. This is my own fault why it took me so long, because I was using the converge shot instead of the roundabout in the second phase, which is just not nearly as good, but I thought it was. I might go B for him just because I don't think he's really that unique or anything. Like, the arena looks really cool, the design is really cool of all of his forms, but it's like the parry opportunities suck. I think some of the attacks can be really annoying to avoid, with like the icicle minions getting up at different times. I'm just gonna go top of B. He's still cool. It's just some of the attacks are so annoying, and I don't like dealing with them. Oh yeah, and the music is good. Phantom Express. This was my favorite fight originally when the game came out. I still think the aesthetics and the music are really good. I think the platform is unique, like having to parry it. I think it works really well as Chalice, and it works well if you have the automatic parry as well as Cuphead. And I think just overall, it, like, while the gameplay isn't the greatest, I think it's just really fun. I want to go A, but I don't want to be too generous because I know it's not the best, so I'm just gonna go here. Here seems good. Ruby and Crows, the first time that I've struggled in this game. I was playing it with my brother, and it just sucked the first time around. It took us like 2 days to beat or something. No, that sounds wrong. It probably took us like 4 or 5 hours though. On our first try. And give us a break, we were playing on our laptop with DualShocks connected to it. So it's gonna be pretty difficult. And it was actually the first like fight besides the obvious ones, like, you know, obviously Goopy and Brute Pack are easy to S tier, but this was the first fight that I did that wasn't those two, and that I S ranked on the Switch, and it took me like 3 hours, and it sucked. And then I took like no time at all to do it on PC. It took me like, God, I want to say half an hour, just because one of the times I forgot to use my 6th card, and that is very frustrating when you forget that. I did it with a couple bosses. But for them, I'm gonna go B, I think, because the attacks are really unique. I think their designs are really cool, works well with their attacks. I think it's cool that they just transform into a slot machine and the attacks are randomized. I think that's fun. I think the coin shooting out are really annoying, and that's like the worst part of trying to S rank it. But aside from that, very fun fight. And I think I'm gonna go high B. High B sounds good for him. But I think I'm gonna put him above Cal's Robot, below Jimmy. I think that seems appropriate. Brute Pack is C, but I'll put him above Goopy because at least he has like unique phases instead of just the same thing 3 times in a row. Obviously it's a tutorial boss, it's easy. At first I struggled with it a little bit, probably took like 15 minutes or something, because I'm an absolute scrub. But no one says that anymore. What are you doing? Stop. But yeah, Root Pack, it's whatever. It's the designs are cool, and I like they kind of brought them back in Cuphead show. Had a fun episode with them. Ooh, Boomer Honey Bottoms. This is difficult because I think the phases are really mediocre, but I think the aesthetic is cool, and like just the animation in this fight is really good. The music is good. And the platforms do add something, even if they can be annoying, like Brim's fight. So, I want to go... I'll go high B for her. I'd say above these guys. You know what? No. A. We'll go A. Above Howling Aces. Above Hildeberg. Above King Dice, and then she can stay there. I don't want to be a contrarian or anything. I just think like she's kind of a fun fight once you get used to it. I think the phases are fun to try to avoid. I think some of the attacks are fun, like the bullet, like the bullet bill bees, which is kind of fun to say. Now that I think about it, a lot of the other phases aren't that fun. But the second and third kind of make up for it, because the first phase is kind of meh. Sally's stage play, I think, is better than people give her credit for. I think I'm gonna go B, probably right here, because while she is pretty easy, I think the aesthetics are great. Having stage play is cool. The music is pretty good too. Having the secret phase is fun. But Sally is just kind of fun. I liked her 2 seconds she appeared in Cuphead show once again, and some of the attacks are just kind of fun. Final phase is definitely really weak, but I mean, what do you expect? If it kind of needed to be a curtain call to like make sense with the stage play aesthetic, so I don't really mind it. Ooh, one of the worst bosses to try an S rank. I'm gonna put him in B. Like, the attacks are not that fun to avoid, any of them. Like, the baby bird is just really annoying. The doctor or the nurse, I don't know what they are. The little birds that are carrying him at the end, shooting out the garbage. Or no, that's him. Them shooting at the pills and him shooting at the garbage. Very obnoxious. And the first phase is awful on S tier. Or, sorry, on expert mode. Because the eggs just fly in a pattern where you can barely avoid them. The timing is kind of strict, so you kind of have to stay close to his face. They might have patched that, I'm not sure, but I know that used to be a thing for sure. The music is good though, and I do like the character design, how he's the cuckoo clock and stuff. I think that's fun. So I'm gonna go B for him. I think he's one of the more fun plain bosses, but I'm definitely gonna go below Jimmy. That seems like a good spot for him. And then Werner Werman, I think he's S tier, right here, because he's just a really fun fight. I love the music. The music is one of my favorites. I love how it's like Tom and Jerry. It's really fun. I like when they specifically call back to old cartoons, like specific ones. And this is one of the best examples. And I don't know, there's just something about him that's like really charming, how you're like shrunk down and you have to avoid like mouse traps, and he has like a little trebuchet mousetrap thing, and he shoots out like different pieces of garbage. I think that's fun. The cat phase is okay. The ghost mice is kind of dark, that's fun. Second phase is definitely really interesting with like the bottle caps coming at you, and it can be difficult, so you have to really like zigzag your way around the screen. I think it's great gameplay all around, and it's just one of the most charming fights. And I don't know, I think that just goes for all the ones in S tier. They just have charm to them, which is why I think they're all fun. The devil, I mean, he doesn't really have charm, but like you know, he's a fun fight, and I guess I didn't even expect this, to be honest, but wow, Devil's my number one. So that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'm really glad to wrap up this Cuphead series because I'm not gonna touch it again for a while. Like, I love the game, but oh my god, S ranking every fight is tiring, and now I literally have nothing else to unlock. Because I got all that, I got all the vintage color modes and stuff. It's a pacifist on every single run and gun, and I got all the achievements, which is weird. They don't even have an achievement for S ranking every boss, it's for A ranking every boss. So I got every achievement before I even completed the game, which is interesting. But yeah, I did it, and I'm so happy that I got it done. It's an amazing game, like I said in the commentary. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please hit the like, and I'll see you all next time. Calling the Big Yoshi out. But not so fast, because I have a couple video ideas that I wanted to share. The All-Star Battle R video is still gonna happen, and I'm really excited for it because I've been having a ton of fun with the game. I actually love it so far, which I was surprised at, because while I like the original, like, this game is so good. They improved the controls so much. I've been playing it with my friend, and even though he's playing on his laptop, like, he's doing really well. Or not his laptop, but he's playing on the keyboard, still doing well, which is insane because I'm using the controller, and I'm like, and we're like actually sort of tied up. Maybe I'm just bad, I don't know. But the main so far is Anasui and Dio Brando, both really fun characters. I did not know he was S tier before I started playing him. I just played him for the event, and he just became one of my favorites. I think I want to do a couple reviews. I'm definitely going to do the Loki review scene. I already have planned a couple things about it. I'm going to try to make them more high quality. Not just me looking at the camera. I'm going to try to make them like, try to make a video play in the background. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try my best to do it. And I don't know, I think that'd be pretty fun. Because, I mean, that's a fun series, you know, I did enjoy it. And, what else? I wanted to do the same thing, but with the Scream movies, because I love those movies, and I'm definitely doing a Scream 6 review when that comes out, because I'm so excited for that movie. Even more than I was for 5. Well, maybe not, but god, I'm so excited. I might do Rick and Morty Season 6, talk about the state that the show is in, because I've been a little disappointed with it recently. Season 5, I did not enjoy. First half of Season 4, I did not enjoy. They really saved it in the second half of Season 4. And Season 6, the first episode came out 2 days ago, and it was promising. But all of the first episodes are promising, so there's nothing to say right now. I definitely want to do the Marvel reviews faster, just to go back to that, because I want to get to She-Hulk and tackle that, because that show is it's an anomaly so far. It is just like, it's not like awful, it's not like unwatchable, it's just so weird, and it's like one of the weirdest things Marvel's ever put out. And I think people were really like overselling how much they hated it. Like, calm down, guys. Episode 1 and you're saying this is offensive? This is ridiculous. Like, it is not the worst thing that has ever existed. I would even say there's been worse Marvel stuff, because at least this is funny bad in a lot of ways. Like, well, I'll let you know which one I dislike more later, like the worst Marvel stuff. But anyways, those are my video ideas for right now. I had a couple others, but I kind of forget what they are off the top of my head, because I'm a real professional, you know how I go. Oh, last thing. Undertale Yellow. I've been looking at the devlog, and the team says they finished the neutral route. It's a big fan game off spin-off of Undertale, or not a spin-off, but it's a prequel to Undertale. It's a fan game, and it's really well made. I played the demo a few years back. It's insanely good, so I'm really excited for the full game. I think I'm going to do a playthrough of that, like just part by part. And then in the meantime, because that might take a couple years like to come out fully, I do want to play the Mega Man games at some point in some way, because I always have the itch to go back to them like every 2 years or so, which is just weird. I don't know what it is. Every 2 years I just get the itch to go back to 1 through 11 and just play them all for some reason. I don't know what it is. I just love those games. But yeah, that's all my ideas for right now. And yeah, that's gonna be it for me. All right, call the big Yoshi out.